Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm glad you can stop by. Today, I am going to do one of my favorite things is to make a dimensional tag. And I love making dimensional tags because you have to find stuff dimensional and kind of figure out where you're going to place things. This is one of my tags, and I think I showed these to you guys before. I get them from Joann's, and they're the Parkland wood decor tag. And so they're nice and thick, and they're really good for my dimensional work that I like to do on the tags. So I found this guy. Well, my daughter found this guy for me. And I saw a commercial because, you know, everything in my head has to have a little story to it. So I found this guy on the, my daughter found this guy. And I thought of this guy what to do with it and how I felt about it when I saw this commercial with this guy, these people driving in the country, and they crossed the path of this man and this cow. No, I think it was a sheep. It was a sheep, a bunch of sheep. And so the sheep had, decided, this one sheep decided that he wasn't going to no longer live with the other sheeps. He was going to go home with these people and be like a dog. And so when I saw this little frog here that my daughter gave me, because she know I like make my dimensional tags, I said to myself, that reminds me of Chester. So Chester here. Chester decided he wasn't just going to be a simple frog and live in the frog places and do what frogs do. He was going to go on an adventure, follow his heart, and do what he wanted to do. He was going to get his little umbrella and leave the pond for a while and go take on some little bit more of life. And so that's what Chester had decided that he was going to do. Now, Chester is a yard thing. So he had all this stuff on the back of him, and I had to get all of that off because I wasn't going to be able to take Chester and place him down on my tag here, and he doesn't really fit. So I had to make these little boards here from those, those little wooden pieces we get from Dollar Tree. So I had to stack a few of them in order to stack Chester on. So he would sit up from the tag and I wouldn't have to bend him so much to make sure that he would fit. So that's what I did to make this work. I'm going to have to play with that a little bit more. So I got Chester, and he sits up on the blocks like that. So that's what gives him the dimension. And it's going to take a little bit for Chester to dry on the block. So I have to press him down a little bit. And while I'm pressing Chester down, because it's going to take a little bit for him to sit there and get his self going, that I'm going to go ahead and put my other elements on, what Chester's seeing along the way while he left the pond. So while he left the pond, there's some leaves there. You got to leave the leaves. When I'm doing all these things, if you all know, I don't have a lot of glue. And thank you all for joining me today for how I make my dimensional tags. Thanks for joining me. And you know that when you do these things, you see things in the store. Let your imagination fuel you. Chester, you're going to have to stick down here, boy. I might have to put a little hot glue down there to help. Let me give him some hot glue to help him. He may need a little hot glue to help. I got my hot glue over here to kind of help him. So Chester may need a little hot glue, or it may take a little bit more glue to make sure Chester stays in place. So anyway, so that's my Chester here. And people usually ask, well, Jay, you make these dimensional tags. What do you do with them? So most of the time I give them to a friend. I usually put a good amount of hot glue on there. I usually give them to friends. Some of the ones I keep because I really fall in love with them. Chester, I haven't decided what I'm going to do with my friend yet. But anyway, so there's a little bird here I wanted to add on here with Chester. Let's add the little bird. And I put this burlap on here to give it a little bit more. Just a little bit more. You know, you have something and it does okay, but it needs a little bit more. So just to give it some texture and stuff in the background. I like a little texture and everything. So I put a little texture on there and everything. So I got a little bee up here. I'm gonna wait until Chester's dry before I put my ribbon through there for the tag. I got these flowers that I want to put on down at the bottom. I don't want them to have any dimension to them because Chester himself is enough. Chester's enough. You know, it's kind of like people tell you, you are enough. Chester says he's enough to handle just about anything. And so far, Chester's doing well. So I'm going to put these little flowers down here to add a little bit more to it. I got a little bit more. Put that there. So it's kind of covering up my little yellow down here, but that's okay. I know that dimension's back there. And so now that Chester's decided to leave the life of the normal frogs and go take some risks, go to the city. You know, he's a country frog, he going to the city. So Chester says he's gonna follow your heart. Follow your heart. Okay, but don't start that barking. My dogs are here, they're getting ready to start barking. So follow your heart and take some risks. Gladys, come here. Gladys is one of my dogs here, and she's getting ready to start whining. So I'm glad that I am finished with Chester. He's getting stuck down there. Tell me what you think of Chester, and tell me, would you make a dimensional tag? And do you like my dimensional tags? Because I think you've seen some more. I will try to hook a links to some of my other ones so you can see them. But I love tags, and I love dimensional tags, and I love taking them and putting them in boxes and giving them to friends. So tell me what you think. Tell me if you like it. And also, for you, if you're about to take on a new adventure, follow your heart, follow what you like to do, be the reason somebody smiles, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye now.